So, today I'm going to talk about homosexuality. It's a pretty big debate in the faith, of course. Which I don't understand why. The Bible very clearly spells out what you're supposed to think. Do not lie with a man as with a woman. It is an abomination. They say that in the book of Leviticus, 18:22. And then the book of Romans goes a little further in depth with it. As early as the first chapter, when Paul is discussing us in God's wrath, he criticizes those who, professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man, and birds, and four-footed animals, big things. Therefore God also gave them up to uncleanliness, and the lust of their hearts, to dishonor their bodies among themselves, who exchanged the truth of God for a lie, and worship and serve the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this reason, God gave them up to vile passions. For even their women exchanged the natural use for what is against nature. Likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burned in their lust for one another, men with men committing what is shameful, and receiving in themselves the penalty of the error which was due. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a debased mind, to do those things which are not fitting, being filled with all unrighteousness, sexual immorality, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, evil-mindedness. They are whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, violent, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, undiscerning, untrustworthy, unloving, unforgiving, unmerciful, who, knowing the righteous judgment of God, that those who practice such things are deserving of death, not only do the same, but also approve of those who practice them. And does the Bible... Okay, so the Bible says it's sin, but that even Christians, I've noticed, have fallen away and been like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. Like, I'm going to leave the link in the description, but like one church not too far from where I am, it says that they respect all, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, race, ethnicity, cultural background, religious background, nationality, age, marital status, economic circumstances, or physical, emotional, and mental ability. Now, a lot of that is glorifying sin. Now, most of those things are fine. God doesn't care what gender you are, what race you are, how rich or poor you are. The gender identity, it's man and woman. Those are the only options. How can you say you're not those things? It doesn't make sense to me how you can say you're not. Then you're not. Orientation is what we're discussing. The religious background, the whole point is saying that proving God's the right way. You can't just go up to someone and be like, oh, it's fine, you don't have to choose Christ. You have to. That's the only thing you can do. We commit ourselves to the work of ending ignorance, fear, hatred, prejudice, and discrimination against people considered to be different, including lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Do you think Jesus... People say Jesus wouldn't condemn it, and he did say marriage is meant one man and one woman. And that separating that is as bad as adultery. I'm reading some articles from a website for gay churches. Let's see what they have to say. What they argue about the Book of Romans. Now, what they're arguing is that the word natural comes from two Greek words, physkos and physis, a natural disposition, something instinctive. And they argue that what it is that the people reject God and then turn away from what's natural. And they say, oh, well, Jesus never said anything about it. And, it's only a sin if you reject God. But no, it's a sin even if you still try. You can't be a gay Christian. I'm not saying it's a choice. People argue that, oh, we can cure you. You can't. You can't cure gays. And you do have to love them. You can't be prejudiced. But you also don't coddle sin. I know this is going to be hard to hear, but it's what needs to be said. I'm just... I'm looking over this. I encourage you all to do that too. So it argues here that detestable abomination, it refers to idolatry, not homosexuality. And, they say, what do you expect? No, the Bible says you can't eat shellfish, or you have to kill your kids for disrespecting you. And, I'm not trying to cherry pick, but the shellfish one, in the book of Acts, God tells Peter, what was created clean, do not call it unclean. Stoning, Jesus does away with that. I've come to turn children against parents and parents against children. So that Sodom's sin was gang rape of the angels rather than homosexuality, which King James Version says, let us know them. The NIV says, let us have sex with them. I'm reading through this article. It says, no. means to confront. It's argued. So is rape. It says, oh, it's never mentioned in the Ten Commandments, or it's never mentioned by Jesus. It's mentioned directly, as I said, his discussion of marriage. I guess I'll talk to you guys later.